Okay, so now how do you get that ROI that you want? This is not just for Tulum, but all of Mexico for that matter. Pretty much any Airbnb. I'm going to switch it up a little bit in this video and from here on out. As I mentioned, I'm very data driven, so I think it's important to look at where we want to be and then we start to work backwards. And I'll explain that in a second. This is where my knowledge and expertise are going to pay off for this purchase of this course. I'm not bragging or boasting, but this is the stuff that gets me excited. We have to look at Airbnb first and study it. What the people want. It's like marketing. Why would we reinvent the wheel or try to sell a product or service by trying to go out and find the people that are interested? It's way easier to just plop what they want right in front of the people that are looking for it. Same with Airbnb in this market or any other market in Mexico. This is why I mentioned keep your emotions out of it and just make data-driven decisions, unless ROI isn't the main concern and you want a particular type of home. That's honestly what I did with this course, and I hope you see value in it. Okay, so now we can transfer this directly to where you want to be in terms of your investment. Let's just work backwards and start with how the Airbnb algorithm works. But it's not just about the algorithm, it's about what people want. You could go and make your own booking website like Casa del Rey, the one I showed you, and build a whole business out of it and not be dependent on Airbnb. As experienced investors, you are aware that data-driven decision-making is key. So let's do that. It's exactly what I did with my unit in Tulum and how I made over $80,000 in revenue in my first year. What's the secret sauce of successful property rentals? The answer is simple yet complex. Airbnb's algorithm is where we're going to start. There's no need for a guessing game, folks, because the data is here to guide us. Firstly, it's crucial to understand that there are 3 key steps to leveraging the algorithm effectively. The first one is gathering 5-star reviews. How do you do that? Boutique and unique. And I'm not going to talk about the customer service and the operations side of Airbnb right now. That's up to the management company post-sale. Airbnb photos are the first impression for a guest, but I see it time and time again. Investors do this part in the old-fashioned way, in the opposite way. They spend so much time and effort doing the research, finding the right people, and at the end of the sale process or the build, they kind of are exhausted and they spend a shit ton of money and just go with the furniture package that the developers offer and skim on the decorations and don't focus on the aesthetics. Don't do that. Make your spot unique. Separate it from other units in the same building. Add some flair. Spend time looking on Airbnb at what is working. That's what I do. That's what I help you with. So how do you do that? Well, we look at 6 months in advance for the best units on Airbnb with the most reviews. It's simple. Then try and find the calendar days that are blocked for your same unit that you found. If you can't rent those days, it means it's booked. You need to work backwards. The units you see on Airbnb next week or tomorrow are typically the shitty units because they haven't gotten booked. So search 5 and 6 months out because the best performing units are not going to show up in the search results for next week. It depends on seasonality too. We have high and low seasons, but you can get a good data set if you spend some time looking. To go further in depth on Airbnb, I suggest buying a book from a mutual friend of mine, Daniel Rustine. The book is called Optimize Your B&B. I'm not going to go too deep into how to find units on Airbnb. I trust that you can figure that out and search in the future and find good units that are being rented next week. These are the ones you need to follow. That's your data set. Don't skip on the furniture and the decorations either. This is what helps the Airbnb algorithm. Airbnb uses AI. How do I know this? Because when you make a listing, it literally says, want us to put the best photo as your cover photo? I can make educated assumptions that there is a database of types of photos with a shit ton of data that Airbnb A and B tests, which results with more clicks, more saves, and more bookings. And AI is the only way to do that. Why? Because Airbnb is a business. They want to make money from each booking and are required to report to shareholders on Wall Street their numbers. So they better be on top of this. And if your unit is what travelers want, you're going to be rewarded time and time again with more bookings. From the second that someone interacts with your listing on Airbnb, data is being recorded. The better the data, the more love you get by being placed higher in the algorithm searches. There's a like button on a listing for a reason. There's a reply to reviews button for a reason, and a ton of other things too. It's not rocket science, but it's what I've learned over the past 10 years doing this. Just follow the best units. Do a little research and make your unit look like that. Go to Pinterest and literally make things look great for photos. You don't need an interior designer. I work with some great furniture manufacturers to help you with this, but it's not rocket science. I think I mentioned in a previous video, I don't like one-bedroom units because they're oversaturated. It's true to an extent, but there's some one-bedrooms that are killing it. I'll show you some examples of what a good unit looks like and what a bad unit looks like and share the data with you. So here we are in Airbnb. I'm going to walk you through some really, really cool stuff. So we'll start with a one-bedroom apartment, right? I'm going to click on my wish list and head over to Tulum. This right here are some of the best one-bedroom apartments that you can get. And my point is look at the aesthetics of this. This one-bedroom apartment is renting for $171 a night with 121 5-star reviews. This is stupid. I don't know why someone gave a 4. And you can see that they have, today is July 21st. So this one is booked. They probably by the end of the day, because right now it's 12 o'clock and they'll probably lower this number. They don't have any bookings out here. This is slow season, but you can get a great idea of how well this is performing with 121 reviews, right? So for instance, you can go to airdna.co, airdna. And we'll head over to Tulum, and you can see that there's almost 10,000 active rentals on here. Occupancy rates at 46%. This is taking in an average, right? And we look over here and we have 3,500 one-bedroom Airbnbs, and that's at the time right now. Look at this growth, right? So in Q3 of 2021, we had 6,000. They keep building. They're not going to stop building. So my point is, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms are going to be where this comes from here in Tulum proper, right? But you can be very successful with a 1-bedroom. And this is my point. There is not a huge, there's not a huge supply of places like this. Like, this is gorgeous. This is what people want in an Airbnb, right? Look at these pictures. Look at the bohemian chic. I mean, you can picture yourself here, well, a traveler, sexy girl in a bikini with her boyfriend posting on Instagram. Like, make it Instagrammable, right? And it doesn't have to be difficult. This is very minimalistic. They have the chikung walls. You know, they put nice pots here, some wood stuff, whatever this is, one chair and a nice table with, looks like they covered a TV. I bet that's what that is. It's just a TV behind there with a nice cloth. They have the rock wall here, you know, and when you look for your property, this is a 1-bedroom, right? So when you look for your property, keep this in mind. You don't want to skim on the decorations. It doesn't have to be expensive to do this. I mean, you can literally have someone put this type of ceiling in. This might cost like $1,000. All it is just pieces of wood with shafts that go all the way down. You can find somebody to do that. I can help you. The rugs, you know, a little table at the end of there. This is considered a 1-bedroom, but it really looks like a studio because it has this little wall. Like, this is a little wall. I wouldn't call this a 1-bedroom. I'd call this a studio, and it looks gorgeous. And we have another one here. I had another one here, but I don't know where it is. And then you have, like, here's my unit. To give you an idea, at 79 reviews, I made about $83,000 in revenue. And that's at an average of like $248 a night. Now look, mine is a little bit different, right? $138 I mean, I have pretty good reservations. Let's see, from here to there, it's about $157 a night in the low season. In the higher season, if you come here to here, it's about $1,400 a night. And this is the type of thing that I'm showing you, is be unique. Like this painting literally cost me like $1,400. It is all spray paint. It's about 30 feet tall by maybe 25 feet wide. And this is what people are coming here to do. They want to have something unique. I have the pool outside. I have the tree growing through the balcony. This is what that looks like. You have the pool out here. You have very nice furniture. This is all handmade furniture. The pictures are nice. It's very minimalistic. It sleeps enough people. It sleeps 10. You have your bedrooms. And so this is what performs well. Now, let me go and show you what I'm doing. And now that I showed you, I did show you mine. Mine does perform very well. I showed you that one bedroom. That performs very well. Now, let me show you what is happening here. So I'm going to show you the differences between this. This is a beautiful place. Beautiful place, but you're quickly going to see the difference here. This is very modern. This reminds me of a Miami, New York City, Los Angeles type of apartment, with trying to make it a little bit of Tulum, right? Not knocking on it. This is a unit that I manage. I've spoken to the owner. She wants nothing to do with the Tuluminati type of decoration. She's more than happy. This is more of like a secondary home for her. She does rent it on Airbnb, but these are modern stools. People are not coming here to look to rent that. They want the Tulum vibe type of feel. And so this is a huge 2-bedroom. Now, let me show you basically what the results are on it. Let me show you what the insights are on here and occupancy. So I'll sort this by this one, apply. We'll go back to January until today. We're at a 64% occupancy. Now, if we go back to AirDNA, we're higher than the occupancy rate for Airbnb or for Tulum in general. She's got 123 nights booked. The conversion, there should be a nightly rate. Her average nightly rate is $60. To similar listings, it's $20 lower. So when I look at these data-driven decisions, is the thing that's lacking is that decorative part. So, this from $60 to $80, it's a big difference. If we did 60 times 30 days, that's $1,800. Or you did 80 times 30 days, that's $2,400. So that's a pretty big difference in price. Now, if I show you another unit, let me show you the performance of my unit. And then I'll jump to another one that's really good. It's new, but I'll show you. So from June 20th to July 20th, my average nightly rate is about $200. We'll scroll back to January, right? So we brought the average up because of the season. So $326. It's $80 higher than similar listings in the area. How am I getting that? It's because I made it unique, right? People are paying $80 extra per night for similar 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom listings to be a part of that. If you look at my Instagram account, I get people that share, the videos constantly from staying there because they share it. Okay, so then we look at the occupancy rate from January to July 20th. We've got 90% occupancy, 30% more. Look, it's 31.8% higher than similar listings in the area. Why? Because it's unique and boutique. It doesn't have to be a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom unit. It can be, your 1-bedroom / studio that's right here that's killing it. And so these are the types of things that you have to look at. I'm going to show you one more because I kind of have been biased showing you mine. Well, I'll show you comparable to mine. So mine, the mirror image to mine is not performing that well, right? My average nightly price was like 300 and something. Now, the mirror image, the one right across from me that I manage for a friend of mine, his is decorated differently. It's very beautiful, but I'll show you what his looks like in a second. From January to July, he's at 66.7%. It's higher than similar listings in the area, and I think that has to do with the amount of people that it sleeps. But if we go to nightly rate, from January until now is 178. So it's $86 lower than similar listings in the area. And I'll show you what his property looks like. It's the exact mirror image of mine. It doesn't really have the Tulum vibe type of feel. It does, but this is what it is, right? It's very, very nice. We have this huge dream catchers with this huge rope that hangs down. Furniture is beautiful, but it's very simple. It's very simple. I think that if you put that wood ceiling right here, in the ceiling, it would look gorgeous. This is the shared backyard. Like, these types of wood on top of the ceiling, that could work. There's some decorations that I would add, put that huge thing here, put a huge macrame type of blinds, not just regular blinds. And this is what people are looking for, right? This is what the data is showing. And I'll give you another example. We have another listing of mine that I manage. There's a brand new listing, and you're going to see it right away. This is super Tulum. Super Tulum-y. Look at this. You have your wood floor outside, your pool, the rock wall. This is a shared spot. The bedroom, it is very simple. It doesn't have to have a lot. It has a nice little plant here. These macrame blinds, little piece of macrame, a nice mirror. Airbnb came in and took these photos to help us raise the algorithm, as I mentioned. So you can tell the difference. She has to have someone come in. But you see how, this is the building. This is what this stuff has to look like. Now we can look at her performance. Come over here, click on her performance. I just started this listing. And so obviously we have to start it in the low prices, but it's $111. The other one was $60. Remember the other one that I showed you that was modern? This is a brand new listing. I just started it in May, and it's slowly raising in price. The occupancy, let's go back. I think I started it May 26th is when I started it. So we're at 82% occupancy. It's 63% higher than similar listings in the area. It's 2-bedroom, but it's really like a 1-bedroom with a loft. So my point is that you can very well perform amazing on Airbnb. It just goes into the decorations. It doesn't have to be over the top. You just have to make it look appealing in the photos, right? So that's what I wanted to show you. I hope that this helps. If you have any questions, we're going to go over this on a phone call together. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. But I hope that this is showing you what and how this stuff operates and works. And you can see here on Airbnb, all of this, I didn't go too in depth. Do your own research, mess around with it, see what works, look into the future, because the Airbnb properties that are not populating in the search results for next week are the ones that literally are booked, right? And so those are the ones that are performing. You have to go and find those by looking in the future. So hopefully that helps. And let's jump back in. I get it. I might be making this sound easy, and it does sound a little basic, but it is fundamental. But this is what I do to help you find your right investment. I believe most spots can perform well, but you have to focus on the first impression first and then work backwards. And your budget plays a huge factor into this. In order to be successful, take what I'm saying and just narrow down some searches. There are tons of really amazing products out there that can do very, very well. This is what my team and I focus on. The second thing is getting 5-star reviews, because expectations were set from the beginning. 5-star reviews are the crux of it, and it all starts with the photos in the searching step of the traveler's vacation. In fact, it's so fundamental that we should strive to get 5 of these stellar reviews as soon as possible. Airbnb's algorithm favors properties with high-quality reviews. If you get anything less than a 5-star review in the first 5 reservations, just make a new listing. No questions asked. It sucks, but it's necessary for long-term stability. It's important to hire a professional photographer, of course. Get a good one. Ask for their previous work as well. But that won't verify your listing with Airbnb. I could talk for days and days about Airbnb, but it would drift from the purpose of this course. I built a nice website page that explains this in further detail, and I have some YouTube videos to help you understand what I'm talking about. There's a ton of factors that go into this that you can read, but to be successful, make your unit pop and don't skim on the decorations. Everything comes down to the operation of your unit at a later date, and that's the easy part. I'll put a link to the webpage to learn more if you want to further your knowledge behind this, but it's not necessary for right now. We need to talk about the important things like taxes, the fideicomiso, and building if you choose that option. I think at this point, you're going to have a pretty good understanding of investing in Mexico by now. I'll go over a few more things, but I understand that each investor is looking for something different. It's important to do your homework, and if you'd like, we can schedule a call together for a more personal approach. I'll see you in the next video.